Have you noticed that? Most AI rendering tools can generate beautiful images, but they don't really fit the architect's workflow. In a real project, we don't just generate one image and stop there. We'll start with developing ideas, refine spaces, experiment with materials and lightings, and eventually present everything together in one place. So today I'm going to take you through one complete architectural workflow using Rendair AI. So here you can see the project that I have created. This is the floor plan that I have already designed, and here is the elevation, the 3D model that I created in SketchUp. Here you can see the side view and the front view of the elevation. Now I am going to render all of this using Rendair and turn it into a professional presentation that I can share with my client. I will leave the link to Rendair in the description box below so you can try it out yourself. First, I will go to the apps on the left hand side and select floor plan to render because I want to start by rendering the floor plan. This will help me create a much more presentable floor plan for my client. Next, I will click drop image, browse to my folder, select the floor plan and upload it. Now the floor plan is ready. On the left hand side, you will see editing options, but I don't want to make any changes to the drawing because I'm already satisfied with the floor plan I created. On the right hand side, you can add custom prompts and choose rendering style. For this example, I'm not adding any additional prompt. I will simply select the 3D realistic style. Of course, you can choose whichever style best matches your project. If you open the advanced setting, you can also upload a reference image, choose the output image size, and select how many variations you want to generate. I will keep the number of generations to and click generate. Let's wait and see what Rendair creates. And here are the two renders. The first one uses wooden flooring while the second one includes tile pattern in the kitchen. Honestly, I'm really impressed with the quality of the renders. They look clean, realistic, and presentation ready. At the top, you will find options to add your render to favorites, save it to folders, copy the input, share it, download it, delete it, upscale to 4K, create video, and edit the render further. One feature that I really like is the folder organization. I'm going to create a new folder called it House Project 2BHK for architects and interior designers who manage multiple projects. This is a huge advantage because it keeps everything well organized. Now that our floor plan is ready, let's make few edits. I will click on edit and select the edit material. Here I'm going to add a prompt saying change the flooring material to Italian marble. If you have a reference image, you can upload it as well to get more accurate results. Now I will click generate and let's see what it creates. And here we have our updated floor plan with beautiful Italian marble flooring. It looks incredibly realistic. However, I noticed one small issue. You can see that there's a bathtub placed here, which shouldn't be there. I didn't notice it in the previous render, but that's completely fine because we can easily fix it. I will go back to edit, choose remove object, and then use either the brush or the rectangular selection tool to mark the tub. In the prompt box, I will simply type remove this tub, then click generate and let's wait and see the result. And there you go, the bathtub has been removed clearly. Now that our floor plans are ready, let's create some mood boards. Inside apps, you will find render to mood board. I will open it and select one of the renders we have already created. If you want to, you can add additional prompts or even upload reference image from the advanced settings. But for this example, I'm going to keep it simple. I will click generate and look at that. Rendair has created a beautiful mood board with furniture, lighting, material samples, and a color palette that perfectly matches the render. Everything looks cohesive and professionally presented. I really like this result. Now that we have our floor plans and mood boards ready, let's move on to the exterior render. I've already created the 3D model in SketchUp, so I will go to image to render and upload the screenshot of my model. Here's the screenshot now. In the prompt box, I will enter render this villa in minimalistic style. Next, I will open the advanced settings. This time, I will upload a reference image that I found online and really liked. Using a reference image helps the AI better understand the style and overall look you are aiming for. I will also change the image resolution to 2K, set the number of generation to 2 and then click generate. Now let's wait and see what Rendair creates. Wow, look at these renders. They look absolutely beautiful. I love the stone texture it has incorporated. The lighting looks incredibly realistic. Honestly, if I showed this to someone, they probably wouldn't even guess that it was AI generated. It looks like a professionally rendered architectural visualization. Now, let's make few changes to this render. I will open edit menu and you will notice that there are plenty of editing tools available. I'm going to select annotate image. Using the rectangular tool, I will highlight this area here. Then I will describe that I want. I will type a black car parked here. It's a very simple prompt, but let's see how well it works. Now click generate and there we go. That looks really good. The car blends naturally into the scene and it feels like it was always the part of original render. Let's make another edit. I will go back to edit, choose annotate image again, and this time I will select the grassy area in the front of the house. Instead of grass, I want paved entrance. So I will add prompt add pavement, then click generate and look at that. It has replaced the grass with beautiful paved area that fits perfectly with overall design. I really like the result. Another nice feature is that you can easily change the time of day. For example, you can generate a morning, evening, or night view of the same render with just few clicks. Let's generate a night view, and here it is. The warm lighting looks elegant and it gives the villa a completely different atmosphere. If you want, you can also use the editing tools to add human figures, vehicle, landscaping, or make any other adjustment to further enhance your render. At this point, I have everything I need for my project presentation, but instead of showing my client each image one by one, I would rather present them everything together in a clean professional presentation board. And that's exactly what we are going to do next. In Rendair, scroll down and you will find the boards feature. Click on it. I have already created few projects here, but this time I will create a new board, rename it as House Project 2BHK. Now from the toolbar at the bottom, click the plus icon. You can either upload a new image or choose image you have already generated. I will start by uploading my original floor plan line drawing. Next, I will select the floor plan renders we have created earlier. I will add both the version. This allows my client to compare the original floor plan with both the rendered option and clearly visualize how each material changes the overall look of the space. Next, I will insert the mood boards we created, and here's the first mood board and here's the second one. Now, let's add the exterior renders as well. I can resize the images, arrange the layout, and create a presentation that clearly communicates the entire design process. Using the tools in the bottom toolbar, I can also add annotations, arrows, highlights, shapes, and text. For example, I will add a title that says ground floor plan. Over the right hand side, I can customize the text by changing the font, size, color, match the presentation style. I will continue adding labels and annotation throughout the board. I will also use the arrows to connect related image so it's easier for the client to follow the design process. This makes the presentation much more visual, organized, and easy to understand. So I will quickly finish arranging and annotating the board and then I will show you the final result. And here we have our complete presentation board. Now, the board feature isn't just for organizing your images. You can actually use the AI apps directly inside the board, which makes your workflow much smoother. To show how it works, I will click on apps and select text to render. Now I will enter a simple prompt, generate a minimalistic bedroom render. Then click generate and here you can see Rendair has generated a beautiful bedroom rendered directly inside the board. The best part is that I can continue editing this render without leaving the board. I will select the image, click edit. This time I will choose change material for the reference image. I will use this render because I really like the wooden bed in this. I will add the prompt add wooden bed similar to the reference image, then click generate. As you can see, all the edits are linked together, making it easy to track entire design process from the original image to every variation you have created. And here we have the updated render. The wooden bed looks much better and fits the minimalistic render style perfectly. Now, let's make another variation. I will select this render again, edit it one more time. This time, I want to see how the room looks at night. I will choose the night view option and click generate. Let's wait for the result, and here we have the night version. The warm lighting creates a completely different mood and makes the space feel more cozy and inviting. Now, I'll go back to the previous render, make one final edit. I will choose populate render. In the prompt, I will type add a lady walking, then click generate, and here we have another variation with human figure added to the scene. I really like how natural it looks. If you look at the board now, you can clearly see the entire design journey from the original render to every edited version. Now that our presentation board is complete, it's time to share it with the client or the rest of the team. Simply click on Share button in the top right corner. From here, you can enter the email address of your client or teammate and choose whether they should have the viewer or editor access. Then simply send them invitation. You can also create a public link, copy it, and share it with anyone. I will leave the link to this board in the description box below so you can explore it yourself. Another feature is that I really like is collaboration system. Here you can see that my teammate has already left comments directly on the board. This makes it very easy to review feedback, discuss design ideas, and collaborate on the same project in real time. Instead of sending multiple files back and forth, everyone can work on the same board, leave comments, make edits, and keep entire project organized in one place. And that's how you can take a side picture all the way to presentation board using Rendair AI. If you would like to try Rendair yourself, I have left the link in the description box below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more such architectural workflows. I will see you in the next one.